Hi, this is Jennifer Garland, and this is Unit 6 Middle Adulthood Interview with Trapper Terrell.
Hello.
Okay. According to our readings, the middle adulthood age range is 40 to 65. What age are you?
42.
Okay. Would you consider yourself to be at the beginning, middle, or end of this stage of development?
I am in the beginning. Hopefully. Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Middle adulthood identifies the visible signs of aging as graying and thinning hair, wrinkled or sagging skin, the need for reading or bifocal eyeglasses, possibility of hearing aids for hearing loss. What visible signs of aging during middle adulthood are you experiencing or have you already experienced?
I've gotten pretty lucky with the hair stuff. It's not thinning or graying too much yet, except for down here in my chin. I have noticed some wrinkles around my eyes that I didn't have. I've always had bad eyesight. I had LASIK surgery a couple of years ago, but I've had bad eyesight since I was in the sixth grade. I think is when I got something like that. And then hearing loss. I haven't noticed any like major hearing losses. I've never had the best hearing, but I haven't noticed it getting any worse.
Okay, thank you. Our readings identify the signs and symptoms of health problems that become more noticed during the middle adulthood as a decline in vision, hearing, joint pain, and weight gain, menopause, decline of estrogen, andropause, decline of testosterone. What signs and symptoms of health problems have become more noticeable during this stage of development?
Decline of testosterone, I haven't had that yet because I did have it tested about a year ago, and they said that I was A-okay there. As far as what were the other ones? Can you tell me what they were?
Yes, decline in vision, hearing.
So nothing there.
Joint pain and weight gain.
Weight gain, yeah. Joint pain. Oh, not a lot more. I guess I'm in a different situation. I guess I should explain my situation. I'm actually in a wheelchair, and about 8 years ago, I got into a car accident, which put me in the wheelchair. So I'm not as active as I used to be. So I probably don't experience the same joint pain problems that everybody does because although I am active, I help coach a 14-year-old baseball team, but I'm not out running around with the kids. I'm not throwing with them. Mine's more verbal, so I don't have a lot of activities to where I'm getting sore on a regular basis. But so I wouldn't say I've noticed a lot of that.
Okay. The next question talks a little bit about cognitive development during middle adulthood. One study, the Seattle Longitudinal Study, shows the major cognition decline doesn't become significant until the age of 60. Another study, the Middle Life in the United States studies, shows there is a small amount of cognitive and physical decline in varying degrees. Fluid intelligence decreases from the age of 20, yet crystallized intelligence continues to accumulate and get better. Have you noticed any changes in your cognitive development?
No, I think I've noticed that it's gotten better for me. I recently graduated from Wichita State University with my master's degree, and school was much easier. I felt in my 40s than I felt like it was in my 20s, and that could have been to do with you know, the lack of partying and good times. As far as like fluid and crystallized knowledge, I mean, you know, I don't feel like I'm full yet, so I don't feel like I'm kicking anything out as far as, you know, developing, you know, having more point of view because of lifelong experience has gotten better. But I'm still pretty early in the stage, so I would guess that I'm probably not experiencing the decline that somebody that would be getting closer to 60 would. So I haven't noticed a huge difference yet.
All right. So next we'll talk a little bit about social development during middle adulthood. Reconsidered priorities, goals, and aspirations, attachments to others, current and future, are no different. Time becomes a much more valuable commodity, requiring careful consideration in terms of the investment of resources. This has become known as mortality salience. Socio-emotional selective theory maintains that as time horizons shrink, people become increasingly selective, investing greater resources in emotional, meaningful goals and activities. Carl Jung believed that our personality actually matures as we get older, a healthier, more balanced personality. How have your relationships with others changed during the middle adulthood stage of development?
So this is a big one for me. As the kids get older, time does seem to speed up, but it seems to be more precious. Because when the kids were young, it felt like we had all the time in the world with them. And now it feels like our time is kind of running out with the kids. And although I don't feel like my time is running out, knowing that I got into a car accident when I was 33, that was like, I mean, it was like there was almost before and after, because before I was working, and I spent a lot of time at work and doing all that stuff. And then after having a kind of a traumatic accident like that, and not working now, it's obviously it puts things into perspective, I suppose. You know, that work is not as important to me as family time and doing things with the family. And yeah, definitely, I can imagine that it's going to get even more so once the kids are out. But I definitely feel that time has become way more precious, and our family has become a much more valued commodity to me. And as our parents are getting older, obviously that's something too that we're looking to hold on to. So we've got kids that are growing up, possibly leaving the home at some point, and got parents that are getting older, and everything that comes with that. So I mean, that's, yeah, I would say that I definitely feel more connected.
So you talked a little bit about work and how that has played a part in your feelings. So this next question talks a little bit more in detail about that and work-related issues during this time in your life. A little explanation: attitudes about work and satisfaction from work tend to undergo a transformation or reorientation during this time. The older we get, the more we derive satisfaction from work. Socio-emotional selectivity theory would predict there is a marked reluctance to tolerate a work situation deemed unsuitable or unsatisfying. Middle life worker must be flexible, stay current with technology, and be capable of working within a global community. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that 1 in 4 of the U.S. workforce will be 55 and older by 2050. So with that, could you explain your current employment and what are your feelings towards your career at this time?
Well, I'm currently not employed. Like I said earlier, I just, I guess not too long ago, I graduated with my master's degree in mental health counseling, and I plan on going back to work, and I plan on going back to work for myself, starting my own business. So, as far as being what I tolerate, being in an unsatisfactory environment at this age, probably not. I spent most of my 20s working either in retail, which I was working like 55, 60 hours a week. Wasn't really happy with it. And then I worked in radio for a really long time. I enjoyed my time there, and I worked in sales, construction sales, into my 30s. And basically, I think I've always kind of been a guy that's, if I'm unsatisfied, that I'm probably going to move on to the next thing that I feel more satisfied with. But with that being said, as I get older, I don't think my threshold would be as high. I wouldn't be as tolerant to staying in those jobs, because I worked in retail for a lot of years and was very unsatisfied. But so working in an unsatisfactory place would probably not be something I'd want to subscribe to, and that's really one of the driving reasons why I did go back to school and get my master's degree, so I could start my own business and do things that I wanted to do that kind of catered to my time around our family, so that way I could go ahead and cater my schedule to what works for me best versus what works for my employer.
Okay. So another part of that question, and you pretty much answered that, but are you satisfied with your career choices? So wishing you would have done something differently, and even you could build on this one as what are your future goals? Diving in a little deeper.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was pretty happy with what I was doing before my accident, for my car accident. I was pretty happy. I was working a lot of hours, and I wasn't exactly, I don't think it would have worked for me now, is the thing, with the kids getting older and all their activities. But as a spinal cord injury guy, or after having a spinal cord injury, I think I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, where I'm going. I'm not in a huge hurry, but I'm pretty happy with where I'm going. Future goals would be, right now, I'd like to start the business, kind of be part-time, not go crazy with the amount of hours I'm putting in. And then once the kids move out, I could see myself going full-time and working a little bit more. But all in the same, not having to kill myself at work like I did in my 20s and 30s.
Okay. So moving on, talking a little bit about lifestyles and our choices, about the strong impact on health and health status and all that good stuff of middle adulthood. Things like exercise and good nutrition are both powerful ways to combat the changes associated with aging. Sarcopenia, cause of muscle tissue and function as we age, osteoporosis, loss of bone tissue, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic inflammation. Those are all just examples of things that come on or can come on during this middle adulthood stage. Is there anything that you would have changed earlier in your lifestyle?
I was pretty active. I played college baseball in my early teens and 20s. Stayed pretty active then. When I got done, I was on a lifting program. I was on a running program to stay in shape for that. And when I got done playing baseball, I just threw all that away and decided I I don't want to run. I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to do anything, which worked pretty good until I was about 25. And then that's when I started gaining more weight. I wish if I could go back in time, I wish I would have said, you need to build better habits, better healthy habits, as far as working out, as far as being on a routine for that. Eating, I wish I would have, I wish I would eat better, like those things. And that continues even to today, where I would like to be able to work out more and eat better. I'm kind of limited on what I can do with that stuff, but I wish I would have built healthier habits younger. As far as like chronic pain and all the other things that come along with aging, not yet. I have virtually none of that. As far as I know, I don't have osteoporosis or I don't really live in chronic pain or anything like that. So that's okay, but I just wish I had healthier habits.
Okay. Okay, so according to theorists Levinson and Erickson, describe a midlife crisis. Their support that a midlife crisis would be described as an emotional audit to reevaluate one's priorities and emerge with a slightly different orientation to emotional regulation and personal interaction. According to the theorists, have you experienced a midlife crisis?
So when I think of a midlife crisis, I think of a guy my age, getting divorced and going and buying a Corvette and trying to find himself a new 25-year-old girlfriend. So no, in that realm, no, definitely not. But in the realm of what you had said, as far as reorganizing things, somewhat, I think priorities get reorganized. And that, but I wouldn't call it a crisis. I would just call that getting older and having certain things become more of a priority to you. The kids have become more of a priority to me. Obviously, partying with my friends and stuff like that was a big priority to me when I was younger, but that's not a big priority to me now. And obviously having friendships is a priority, but not going crazy with them. So I don't think I'm there. I don't feel like I'm going to get there. I don't feel like I'm going to totally throw away anything. I don't feel like much is going to change.
Okay. Well, sorry about that. Computer malfunction. Trapper, I just want to say thank you for letting me pick your brain and do this interview.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.